Welcome to this comprehensive review of Factor75, where I'm going to share my honest thoughts after having used the service for a whole month. There are several ready-to-eat meal options out there, but Factor75 is the best one that I have found so far for both convenience and nutrition, and the taste, well, we'll get into all that. We're going to cover everything from their menu options, the ordering process, what makes Factor75 unique compared to other similar services, a couple drawbacks like the fact that not all of their ingredients are organic, and of course do a taste test of several meals as this food is genuinely delicious. But there were some meals and flavors that might not appeal to some, so I'll get into those as well. As always, my goal is to answer all of your questions so that if you're on the fence about ordering Factor75 or not, you'll know by the end of this video if it is worth checking out for you. And if you do decide to try it out, we found the best discount code for you, and that's linked right down below. So let's dive in. Factor75 is one of today's most popular meal delivery services that offers fresh, ready-made meals delivered to your doorstep. It's really designed for anyone who wants the convenience of takeout or a frozen grocery store meal, something really nutritious like a healthy meal plan, and the taste you'd get from your favorite cafe in town. Factor75 was actually created by a pro athlete who wanted more people to have access to fresh, dietitian-approved, chef-made meals at home without always having to resort to takeout or the grocery store frozen meals that might be boring or not very healthy. Let's start with menu options. You can choose from a variety of menu options. What this means is it's just gonna show you the most relevant meals to your dietary preferences first, but you have access to all of the meals every single week. Not all meal services offer this, so pretty cool. I found the options to be very thoughtful and very inclusive, so no matter what your dietary preferences are, they have something that works for you. You can order 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, or 18 meals per week. These can include breakfast, lunch, and dinner options with optional add-on items like juices and snacks. Ordering process. Now, when it comes to the ordering process, I found it to be very intuitive. They offer pre-selected menu items for you, or you can hand select all of your meals if you want, which is nice. Something to be aware of is just that some of their meals are premium meals, so they're a little bit higher priced. I think it took me about 5 minutes or less for the entire ordering process, which compared to the time that it used to take me just to grocery shop, I don't even want to think about it. Moving on. Shipping and delivery. Meals are delivered fresh to your doorstep every week. Mine arrived on time in a very well packaged, well insulated box. Everything was cold and in excellent condition. Speaking of the packaging, it was honestly so satisfying to see all of the meals just nicely labeled and stacked in my fridge. It was kind of like Pinterest vibes. Much better than a fridge full of unused items that I never end up using all of anyway. Prep. The meals can be either microwaved, which is the fastest option, or easily heated up in the oven, which is great for those who have a preference for one or the other. Poke, heat, eat. You can plate it if you're feeling bougie like me. Taste test. I grew up with an excellent cook for a mom, and now I live in a city with amazing restaurants on pretty much every corner, so the bar was really high. When I say these meals are genuinely really good, I mean it. Okay, starting with Nona's Sunday Beef Bolognese. This tasted just like a low and slow simmered homemade bolognese, but instead literally took 2 minutes to make. This dish was so flavorful. The pasta was really nicely cooked, not overcooked at all, which can be the case with a lot of pre-made pastas. And I especially appreciated the sauce to pasta ratio. It wasn't too saucy and not too dry. Everything was just really well balanced. The zucchini was also delicious and very fresh. It wasn't overly seasoned or saucy. This reminded me of one of my favorite Italian restaurants. I never thought I'd be saying that about a microwaved meal, but overall, super delicious. Next up, smoky barbecue chicken breast. This was a really delicious, dare I say, comfort food dish. The creamed corn was just the right amount of sweet and savory. Now, I haven't eaten a ton of creamed corn before, but this was really tasty. I was admittedly skeptical of the chicken at first because chicken can just be so hard to get right, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was tender and moist and topped with the tangy barbecue sauce, a side of mashed potatoes. It was legit. Now, the green beans, these weren't my favorite simply because they had a creamy sauce on them, which I'm just not used to personally. Overall, this was very good, but a bit heavier than I'd normally go for. So if you love flavor-rich, saucier foods, you'd love this dish. I thought that the portion sizes were really well thought out and really ideal for the average person. Now, if you're someone who eats a lot of food or needs a lot of calories in your diet, then you may want to supplement with something else. But for me, I found that the meals, it looked like I could eat all of it, but because they're so nutrient dense, I found that I wasn't able to finish most of them personally, so I would toss it in the fridge and then just have it as a snack a couple of hours later. So like I said, for the average person, it kind of shakes out to be just the right portion size. Moving on to pricing. So is this the cheapest way that you can eat? No, certainly not. You could of course go grocery shopping, you could go to the frozen section at the grocery store, but I do find that it's a lot more affordable than most takeout options. And for the quality of ingredients, the taste, and the convenience of already having it there ready to go, so no time spent ordering every day on Postmates, this is a good value. Again, $11 is still a lot more affordable than a lot of options out there as far as takeout. $13.50 is still fair and probably more in line with what I would pay if I were to go out. But you get the convenience factor, and of course it's a lot healthier and more nutrient dense than a lot of takeout options out there. Shipping costs a flat rate of $10.99 delivered anywhere in the contiguous United States. So while of course we'd all love free shipping, charging a little bit for fresh meal delivery is understandable because it arrives cold and it's handled much more carefully than say an Amazon package. And you can change or cancel your subscription anytime. They make it really straightforward, so no big hoops to jump through, which is nice. Just go to plan settings, scroll down, and you'll see these options here. So the golden question, is it worth it? That really comes down to your priorities. If you're a busy person or someone who doesn't want to shop, cook, and clean on a regular basis, and you want something that's healthy and convenient, honestly, Factor is the way to go. Quick reminder, if you do decide you want to try out Factor75, just use that discount code below so that you can get the best deal on your first order. Favorite features. The quality and the taste of the food is reason enough to get this, but I also wanted to mention a few other things that Factor75 does really well that just sets them apart from other options both online and in store. One thing that's super cool is that Factor offers a nutrition coaching program, including a complimentary 20-minute phone call with an actual nutritionist. I did take them up on this and had my 20-minute phone call. Let me tell you, I was shocked by the amount of value that I got in this 20 minutes. She went through my lifestyle, my questions, what I'm currently eating like, and what I'm looking for more of in my diet. I'm someone who can go a long period of time without eating because I get so busy between work and life and family, and you get it. Then, like I said, at the very end of the phone call, we did talk about Factor. She gave me some great tips on what tags to use to shop for meals that would work well for the diet that I'm going for my personal dietary goals. And that was it. No sales pitch whatsoever. I, again, was so impressed by the value that I got in this simple 20 minutes. I did also ask her if, as a professional nutritionist, she personally eats Factor. The answer was yes. One really cool thing about Factor75 is that they provide the nutrition facts, the macros, and the ingredients list up front before you order. Not all services do that, so I really appreciate that. Transparency is clearly a priority for them, and when you're focusing on eating healthy meals, that's super important. Another key benefit for those who are looking to eat healthy consistently is it's kind of almost like your own built-in accountability buddy, because the meals are already here ready to go. Rather than having to make the decision every meal or every day, am I gonna choose the healthy meal that aligns with my goals, or am I gonna choose something else that might be, very unhealthy or a lot of calories? It's great because you literally just open your fridge and it's just choose me. So I found that to be really helpful. Customer service and refund policy. Factor has kind of your standard customer service options, the most convenient being their AI chatbot named Basil, which is adorable. Or you can also chat with a live agent, as well as a phone number where you can speak directly to a live rep. Now, while I haven't had any issues with any of my orders, I did still want to call into the customer service team so that I could give you a more comprehensive review. The rep I spoke with was friendly, was able to answer all my questions, and did confirm that if I were to ever experience any issues with an order or I just wasn't satisfied, I could either get a credit to my account or even a refund. So again, while I didn't experience any issues myself, I have heard of rare instances where the box was delivered late, so it's not as cold as it should have been, or it was even mishandled by the shipping company. So nice to know that Factor is a company that really cares about their customer experience and will make it right even when it's not their fault, and that their customer service does what it needs to do when it needs to do it. And now the drawbacks. Okay, the nitty-gritty. So while many of their ingredients are organic, not all of them are. So if you're looking for a purely organic diet, you may want to go with something else. For my vegans out there, these meals are very tofu forward as your protein source. So if you're somebody who really loves tofu, that's wonderful. If you're somebody who's not as crazy about tofu, then you're just not going to get as much variety. There are some meals that don't have tofu in them, but again, something to keep in mind. Another downside that I found was the aesthetic. It doesn't necessarily really look worse than any other microwavable meals out there. They all kind of just look eh. But I did find that if I took the extra 30 seconds and plated it, then it looked pretty much the same as any homemade meal. So not a deal breaker for most of us. So of course, the ultimate question, would I recommend Factor75 or not? Yes, I absolutely would. Honestly, I didn't think it was possible to get the level of flavor and quality that resembles my favorite local takeout or even a great homemade meal with the convenience of having it ready to go in my fridge. But Factor actually did it. And the fact that you're choosing meals that are positively contributing toward your health and your overall physique make it a resounding thumbs up. If you have any questions that we didn't cover, go ahead and pop them into the comments section down below. We try to read and get back to every single comment. And if you have any experience yourself with Factor75, I'm curious, what was your favorite dish? Just a reminder that if you do want to try out Factor75, be sure to use the link right down below to make sure that you get the best discount code possible. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.